So you have to change how you imagine, not just what you imagine. You have to change how you imagine, not just what you imagine. I'll repeat it one more time. But first, welcome to another exciting episode of the Neville Goddard podcast. My name is Mr. 2020. It is 7:16 a.m., the 19th of July. The sun has finally risen in the sky. The birds are happy, so am I. And you have to change how you imagine, not just what you imagine. There's a part of me that just wants to end it right here. There really is. There's a part of me that just wants to go, let them ponder this for 24 hours. And then follow up. Should I? Should I continue? Or are you imagining me continuing? Because you have to change both how you imagine and what you imagine. I'm going to drop some hints, right? This is good. Most people are very passive imaginers, right? They watch the news, they see somebody says something about someone, and they see somebody says something about someone, and they go, oh my God, you know what that means to me, right? And then they just sort of like go on a tangent. The price of, by the way, I remember when there was panic buying in Australia, and spinach cost more than lamb. Lamb was like $20 a kilo. Spinach was $40 a kilo. And I just went, rightio, I'm buying more lamb, right? Just for fun. You get to change how you are imagining what you are imagining. Maybe I'll drop another hint. A lot of people are trying to change. Well, they're trying to change what they see when they look at their bank statement. I want you to notice what you feel when you think about the postman coming. And he may or may not have mail. And it may or may not include a bank statement. See, if you try to change your movies before you change your groovy, right? You got to realize you're groovy. Anyway, this is all about your identity. How's that for a couple hints? My suggestion, go listen to a couple dozen episodes of the Neville Goddard podcast. Because I've covered all this stuff very well in the past 3 weeks. And if you want to dive deeper, if you want to invest in you, if you do want to invest in you while supporting the project, if you get that there's a difference between a podcast and a program, the programs we put together, they dive deep into details. This is pseudo-random what's on my mind based on your emails, posts, private messages, all that cool stuff. But I really want you to get, because I explored this, let me tell you why. So, I'm not going to use names because I didn't ask, but I got a fella who was just on day 14 of ManifestingMasteryCourse.com, and he says, can we do a coaching call? And I say, absolutely, here's how it works. And so we get together, and I notice he's just a little loopy, and he just completed the week on loops, and we just dove deeper a little bit because he really missed some vital stuff on week 1 with triggers, and I'm going to give you the skinny on it, even though the skinny doesn't matter. Nothing out there can trigger you. It can invite you to be triggered. It can tempt you to be triggered. But only you can trigger you. It is what you imagine about what you see, hear, taste, say, even on the inside. And that might be my final hint for the day. If you got gold, 2 suggestions. The first, of course, ManifestingMasteryCourse.com. We talked about that before. We will talk about it again. Don't wait 3 years to do it. Don't wait 4 years to do it again. Number 2, NevilleGoddardStore.com. If you want to invest in you while supporting the project, we appreciate it. Thank you. Hey, we appreciate it. We really do. We love getting to know you, too. That's NevilleGoddardStore.com. And now, let's try a little bit of investing. Because Neville Goddard says that if you must spend your dollar, spend it as though it were a dry leaf. All right? And he says, always be invested. As we go into the silence. Dive deeper, soar higher. Play is the way. See ya.